Hi, this video is going to explain some of the important features inside the Android Studio. I am going to just explain the common use feature along the courses. First, start with the left-hand side of the user interface. In this area, basically is the project folder structure of your project. So you can see you have three folders here: Manifest, Java, and IES. IES stands for the resources. So Java basically is the source code of your project. Normally, we will have the main activity.java, which basically is the Java code file for certain user interface. And inside the resources, you're going to have some of the non-code source file, such as the images inside the drawable, and also the bitmap is the icon image for the launcher. This is the vector file, this is the PNG file. And then you also have some of the XML file, for example the color, which stands for you have the color code, and the string file in the XML format, and also the style for your application. Mostly we are interact in the layout folder, which is the user interface for your app. It's written in the XML format. You either can design the user interface by typing the XML code, something like this, or you can go to the design tab to drag and drop some of the view element from the palette. Okay, so this is basically the project structure of your folder. At the top, you can see we have few options for another view. For example, if I click the project view, basically this is the actual structure folder for your project file. For example, the main activity actually is in this pathway. I will show you in the Explorer. You can see the activity.java actually inside the app source main java com lmc my application. So if you switch to the project view, basically this is the full pathway for your main activity.java. If you select the Android Studio has simplified the path for you, but sometimes it might be a bit confusing for the beginner. For the beginner, I do suggest you use the project view, because something like the bitmap, you can see bitmap we have a lot of folder start with the bitmap, but at the behind you have different name. For example, SDBI, MDBI, SVDBI. Basically, this is the different folder for different screen density. I will explain it along the courses later. So if you check back, so in Explorer, actually this is the follow assembly the same if you use the project view. So inside each folder, you have the same name of the image resources. So does the other folder. But if you're using the Android view, it might confuse you. For example, I switch back and then I check the bitmap. You can see two folders and then only have the image resources, and then at the behind they will label it as SDBI, MDBI, SSDBI, and so on. Okay. Don't get confused. These two just the view and how the Android Studio show you the project structure. So basically this tool is same, just a different way of showing you. Okay, other than the Java file, the main activity.java, and also the XML file for the user interface, the third file is quite important, which is called Android manifest. Android manifest basically is the file that describe the configuration of your application. For example, it show you the package name, the activity you have inside a project. For example, right now we only have the main activity, and this activity is the launcher. is the main activity. That means when we run this project folder, this activity will be called first. Let's say I have different activity. The manifest should have one more activity tag along with the activity name. Let's just create an example for you. I will right click it, new activity, empty activity, and name it as my activity. After finish running, your Android manifest should have one more new tag for the activity. Okay, let's check the Android manifest. As you can see, this is our main activity inside your Android manifest. Other than this kind of basic information about the application, the Android manifest also is important for us to set the permission. The permission is something like the GPS, the contact, the SMS, and so on. That means when we access some of the very sensitive data, we have to ask the permission from the user. So from the Android developer website, this is the example of the permission. This is the permission for us for application to send the SMS. And this is the permission for us to use the compass sensor inside your application. So this is some kind of sensitive data that we get from the user, then we have to ask first. This is another example for the permission to get the GPS data. We are going to use the Android permission .access file location, or we use the hardware location .gps according your target Android. For this example, if the app target is above or equal to API level 21, that means when we request the GPS data, then we have to put this permission. Another important file is the build grader. Android Studio is using the grader to build our project from the source code to the APK file that can run on the devices or the emulator. So basically, this is the build grader under the app. Remember, we have two build.grader with the same name. One is under the app, another one is directly under the project folder. For this under the app, basically the information have the SDK version, minimum SDK version, target SDK version, and so on. And normally this is the section that we have to modify, which is dependency. That means we import some of the library to implement some extra function easily. While the build.grader directly under the project folder is basically the overall built-in configuration for all the submodule and so on. Normally, it includes the grader build version and so on. So normally, I won't modify the build grader section manually. If you want to import some of the library, you can go to the project structure. And then under the app section, you have the dependency. And then we can search the library by adding it or remove some of the library by removing it. Okay. At the top, we have some of the shortcuts for us to run the application. And then before the run, I will open an Android Virtual Device Manager. By default, it's empty. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how to create one later in the video. For the time being, I just open an activity that I already created. So when I click, you can see there is the status bar at the bottom. whatever process is running at the Android Studio, it will be showing here. So this is the Android virtual device that I have rendered. So you want to run the project, you just click the button, play button, just click it. So it will show you the connected device. All of this is the emulator virtual devices I have created. Only one I am running just right now. If you have the physical device, the real Android devices, you can connect it using the USB cable. Then you can run the application inside your actual Android devices. So for this, I'm just going to show you some of the example, how you run the project inside the emulator. Just click OK, and then again check the status. Wait for it to finish running all the process. If the process is finished running, your application will be run here. Okay. Go back to the logcat. Under this area, logcat basically is the view that provides you some of the extra information, especially for the runtime error or the logical error. If you have any runtime error, it will show here. Okay. Let's stop running the app. If you have any syntax error, basically the Android Studio will directly show you where is the error is. You can check the red sign at the right hand side of the view, or you can go to the view of the project, change it to the problem, then it will show you which file is contains the error. Right now is only my activity have the error. If I fix it, then there is no error, then the problem view will showing nothing. Let's switch back to the project. The final thing is the SDK manager, which is the SDK. You can download the new SDK from this SDK manager. First thing is you can see where is your Android SDK location at. I put in the D under the Android and SDK pathway, and this is the SDK platform I have for the time being, and this is the other SDK tools. Here we have one example that they have the latest Android SDK build tool. If I just select it, then if I click OK, they will help us to download the latest SDK build tool. If you want to download the previous one, you can click the show package detail, and then you can check which version you want to download. So does the SDK platform. You can show the package detail. So normally the SDK platform, I only need the SDK platform and also the images for the emulator. Okay, that's all for the introduction about the Android Studio. Thank you very much. I will see you in next video.